What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you a DIY to change the air cabin filter to the F150. This is the King Ranch. It's 2018. And this is my first time today. And there's two ways you can do it. You can pop the actual glove box itself, or if you don't want to do it that way, you can pop this panel right here. It's a two-way system. You know, they're all over YouTube, but sometimes it's hard to find videos on it. So, you know, a little backstory: I'm not mechanically inclined whatsoever. I went to the mechanic. This is the 2018 Ford F150. It's got the 3.0 Power Stroke in it, King Ranch edition. Very clean car, truck. But I went to go get my oil changed, oil and filter. It's the first time I got my truck almost a year ago. And, you know, they charged me $130 for oil and filter, which I thought was damn good for a diesel. So I said, yeah, let's do it. And this is a good mechanic. It's like one of the top mechanics in Arizona. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not trying to bash on them. But, you know, as they were doing the oil and filter change, they end up pulling up the Carfax. This had two owners. I got this truck at 84,000 miles. It's got 92 on it now. Did I say it has three owners? I'm the third owner. But nothing on there, you know, showed that the air cabin filter was ever changed. And, you know, I mean, I feel like the air blows good, but in the lower settings, you know, it does not come out as good, especially in the back. But they said, they gave me a quote. He said it'll be $500 to replace the air cabin filter. So with that and the oil change, you're looking at $630. I'm just like, damn. I'm like, really? Like what does that entail? Because, you know, the guy made it sound like it was like some, you know, mechanical, you gotta remove all this mechanical stuff, you gotta get in, it's gonna be like a 2 labor hour. And I'm thinking like $500. Then yeah, you know, I could see that it, you know, it's pretty evasive. And but I ended up, and my gut feeling was telling me just hold off. So I told him I'd be back in a week, whatever. And he, you know, was like calling the Ford dealer saying, oh, it's a 2-part, you know, air cabin filter. And I was like, yeah, I'll be back in a week. Well, I never went back because I did my own research, and come to find out, you know, mechanics charge like $100 to do the air cabin filter. And for them to like try to take advantage over somebody who is not mechanically sound, but I'll tell you right now, from this day forward, a lot of things that, you know, that is preventative maintenance on a vehicle or this truck, you know, I can do. I'm gonna start doing my own oil and filter changes. I'm gonna end up doing the fuel filters. But yeah, this is a simple way for anybody. You know, like I said, I'm not mechanically sound. I've never changed one out in my life. But I did my own research, and I'm not gonna lie, you know, ChatGPT, you know, helps out a lot. You know, it gives you a bunch of, you know, good advice. But anyway, this comes set up like that. You know, this just pops right off, and you could see there was a tab here at one point. So the previous person that changed this, they broke it off, but it's not a big deal. And this panel, I'm gonna do it through the panel way. This panel, you can see that was already pre-existing. So this air cabin filter has been changed. I don't know when, but you know, we're gonna change it again. Popping this thing off, I did do it without the camera, just because I was kind of scared because it feels so flimsy, and I don't want it breaking. But what happened was, you know, you got to apply pressure. You know, don't be too scared. If you have one of those plastic, like thin crowbars, that's going to be your best bet, because you're going to get more leverage. I used two flathead screwdrivers, but I got it off. So I mean, it's already pretty much off right now. So I'll pull this guy out, and then I haven't gone any further. You know, this is my first time. A lot of it is, you know, it's trial and error, and you know, I won't have to worry about an air cabin filter for quite some time, because I'll show you guys the one that I got. I did not get the Ford, you know, the Ford one. I think it's the one that Ford offers is probably really thick, and you know, it's not a lifetime filter. So here's this guy, still has all the clips. And what we want to do is loosen up those guys. So we want to loosen those bad boys up. So I'm going to set that right there. And let me see what that is. I think it's a 932. Yep, there we go. Sorry, I don't have like the top notch camera system like a GoPro attached to me or anything, so I'm using one hand for this. I'm gonna loosen that guy. I'm gonna loosen this bad boy. And this might drop. This may or may not drop that panel. I know there's a wire, but you can also do it without it. But it shouldn't be a big deal once we get there. Yeah, that's a forearm workout. Okay, let's get these out. Alrighty, I'm gonna set this down right here. Do we got a view? Do we got a view? Again, I apologize for the fucking shit camera. Whatever, fuck it. Do it with one hand. So I believe this is just gonna pry out, if I'm not mistaken. Clips. And there we go. Just had to use two hands on that. you know what? We could just pop this out and I don't see a problem with it. Whatever, we're gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna fiddle with that. Okay guys, we made it to the filter compartment. You can see it right there. And I believe those are just two clips. Just little clips holding that together. I'm not too sure. Oh, this thing is already not even connected. Huh. Wow. I wonder if they busted this. No, that looks pretty good, but whatever. And look at the filter. Let's pull this out. Let's see what this thing's looking like. Oh man. I could already tell this thing's bad. Man. And there it is. That's pretty fucking dirty. Damn. Well, out with the old, in with the new. And this is the new one right here. K&N, you know, you're paying a higher price, but, you know, it's a lifetime filter. And, you know, I've looked up the specs. They say it provides up to 25% more airflow. And I saw a guy do a test on it, and it's true. You know, get everything K&N. You know, that's what it's looking like. The engine filter, I just replaced it with the K&N. Later on, I'm gonna do the cold air intake on it. I think that'd be pretty badass. And there's the filter. Brand new, looks good. Yeah. So that faces down, airflow. Well, first things first, I want to wipe up that compartment a little bit. Just want to wipe it and all right, guys, here's the filter. Not sure which one faces down. If I had to guess, I think it's this, because this one has the lip on it. So I want to say that's facing down. But it doesn't have the... Let's see. I think that's it. There it is. It's in there. So there's the filter, and I mean, there's other ways. This is my first time ever doing it. I apologize it took 14 minutes, but 14 minutes compared to you paying a mechanic an hour, especially one that's going to take advantage over your knowledge. You know, always double check. Don't just let people give you a price and then just do it. I understand that, you know, sometimes you have to, but an air cabin filter, that's not, they made it seem like it was just, like, you know, preventative maintenance. Absolutely. You know, dirty filter, no one wants to deal with a dirty filter, but, you know, you can do it yourself, and, you know, just take your time And a lot of the things that we pay mechanics to do, it could be done, you know. So I hope everyone liked this video. You're just putting everything back in the way you took it out. So thank you.